Hey Scott, hey everyone else, welcome back to For Running Shoes. So today I thought I'd make you a coffee, and I think the reason why I want to do that is because I feel like it's a good analogy of trial and error and trying to improve on past results. All the time when I'm making a coffee, I'm always trying to dial in and try and change a little bit here and there to try and make a better cup of coffee for the next time I make it. And I feel like that's kind of what I need for my marathon. I ran a marathon 2 weeks ago now, and the result was okay. It wasn't anywhere near as good as I was hoping for. It wasn't a PB or anything. So I feel like I could take that as a real loss, but I can also try and learn from that and what were the things that I would want to improve. And so as I make this cup of coffee, I'll talk to you about the four different things that I feel like held me back from having a really good race. So the first thing that I think I could have done better with my training for this marathon was the block itself. A big part of running a successful marathon is nailing your training block and making sure you get in all the consistent training you need. I did that really well for the first 6 weeks, but one of the bigger problems that I had was it was a lot higher mileage than I'd ever done before that I got to. And then I felt pretty fatigued, and eventually I got sick as well. I don't know if that ties into itself, but I got sick, and it took me out for a week or two. And then I went traveling, and so then the second half of my training block didn't really happen. So I basically just had a really long taper and then ran the race. So I think that's a key thing that I want to make sure I get done well. At least, 10 weeks of hard training and then a good 2 or 3 week taper would be awesome to run a good race. So the next thing, the second point that I'd like to improve is making sure that I'm actually grinding pretty well at marathon pace. So I did a lot of speed training throughout the block, which was really helpful. But one of the key things that I didn't really do was actually deciding on race pace really early on, and then really adding in that pace towards the end of my long runs, and even just doing speed training at that pace. I'd often do my speed training faster than marathon pace because I thought that would really improve my leg speed, which I think it did, but it just didn't make me very confident when I was running race pace. And something I'm definitely going to do next marathon training block is really smash into my legs a long period of running at marathon pace towards the end of my long runs, like even sort of 5 to 10 Ks towards the last few long runs of the block. I think that would be really awesome. The next thing I'd like to work on is actually the fueling strategy to make sure that I have the energy to run my marathon the way I want it to run. Ultimately, I just think I could have chosen a better fueling strategy. Like I used these gels that I hadn't really used much of before. I did practice with them a lot and kind of chose them based off some testing, but ultimately I just didn't make a good choice. I don't think. Like it was fine, but it didn't fuel me the way I'd like. So I probably will change that in future races. And something else that I'd like to look for is salt tablets. I feel like they could really help with the cramping that I was experiencing towards the later half of the race. So a lot to think about, but I think I can figure that out within the next sort of year or so before my next marathon. And the last thing that I just like to get better at is actually performing well on race day. There's a lot of little things that happen during a race that are kind of unpredictable, or like you don't really know how it's going to go unless you've practiced it really well. And so I think just having another race of experience has helped a lot with that already. But some of the key things that I'd like to improve are just like having a really nailed in pacing strategy where I know that I'm going to run specific paces for specific parts of the race. And I do often go in with a plan, but I generally I think I just get to a point in the race where it becomes hard and then I give up. So I think that's probably the biggest thing is also, and that comes into my mental game as well, having good visualization before the race and just expecting the pain and having a really good, even just like a motto that I run through my head that helps me get through it, or whatever it is, just something to help me keep pushing. I think there's some other little things that don't go that well as well, like the 2 Melbourne marathons I've done. I've always started really far back in the pack, which means it's not a big deal because you still get your chip time when you pass the start line. But one of the big problems that I have is that I am running a lot faster than those around me because I'm starting further back. So I'm overtaking people for basically the whole race. And it would just be so nice if I had a pack of people running at my pace that I could just dial into and keep pace with the whole race. And then the last thing is just figuring out my hydration throughout the race. I always just use the aid stations, but I basically just have to stop and, well, even just stand still really. Sometimes I walk, but I usually grab a cup and then grab a space somewhere to just drink it because I just can't drink out of a cup while I'm running. So I need to figure out how to do that better. I don't know if I can ever really get bottles without being, it seems too stressful to organize bottles, but yeah, I don't know what else I could really do besides just get better at drinking out of a cup. I'm not going to carry water with me, I don't think. It'll slow me down too much. So yeah, lots to think about, lots of little things to change and tweak, but I guess just practice makes perfect with that as well. And hopefully at the end of all that, I'll have a perfect marathon that I am really proud of and happy to drink. So yeah, I hope you join me in that journey as I continue to improve on all these little things and make the most of all this training that I'm putting in towards this big event. Hopefully one day I'll get that sub 3-hour marathon that I'm really hoping for, or even better. And I hope you join me in that journey. But anyway, I'll see you guys in my next video, and make sure you're checking out Scott's video as he's running his second marathon, but this one's on a flatter course in about a month's time. Anyway, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye.